What's up, nerds? Welcome to another episode of the Multiverse Report. We are recapping the Obi-Wan Kenobi teaser trailer from Tatooine to maybe Coruscant and everywhere in between. My name is Mike Gibson, one of your co-hosts of the Multiverse Report. Tonight, decked out in my wonderful Chewbacca onesie just for the occasion. With me, as always, is Steve Haller in his wonderful Han Solo gun shirt. I'm sure you know the make and model of that gun. The blaster. Sorry, how do I say gun? What is wrong with me? I'm the worst Star Wars fan ever. It's a blaster, idiot.
It's a DL-44, sir. And also...
Hello there.
Of course it is.
Oh, could you not hear that? I just dropped the Obi-Wan hello there. So.
Oh, no, I couldn't hear that. Yeah, we're having audio things, but I'm glad you can punch those things in as much as you want. Yeah.
I'll be punching the soundboard for you.
Yeah.
I got creative, but things that also got creative are apparently Disney and what they're doing with this show, because this trailer was amazing.
This trailer was amazing, and we are here to talk about it and dissect it and share our thoughts and feelings. Real quick, we're going to talk about all the fantasy, wonderful Star Wars, beautiful lightsabery stuff that we want to talk about. We're here to talk about fun and have fun and go crazy over Star Wars. I got to just make one real world comment real quick. Steve, what I found interesting was that there was no announcement date for this trailer. There was no trailer Tuesday, trailer coming Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right about that? We didn't know it was coming.
No, it was literally the tweet from the account. So Disney back in November was able to acquire the @Obi-Wan Kenobi handle on Twitter. It had been dead silent until this morning when it literally just dropped.
Hello there.
Hello there.
So
yeah,
exactly. It was like, okay, something's happening, and then the EW spread dropped with all the set photos, and then early this afternoon, here we are with a minute and change teaser trailer.
Yeah, so it all happened in one day. It all happened at very short notice.
A convenient day, should I say.
Convenient. My take on this is that for those of you who are listening, I don't know how much you're paying attention to the news, but Florida just passed yesterday this bill that's being known as the Don't Say Gay bill that's going to really hurt and harm a lot of LGBTQ kids and families. People aren't allowed to talk about LGBTQ communities or sexual identification and things like that. And that's a really shitty bill, and many members of the LGBT community feel kind of betrayed by Disney for not coming out strongly against this bill that's happening in Florida.
As a strong Florida presence, it's
the home of Disney World, kind of a big deal. And they waited until after the bill passed to come out unequivocally against the bill. So a lot of people are saying oh yeah, they sure they were against it the whole time, I guess was part of the statement. Yeah, you couldn't have said that before the bill passed. You couldn't have used your big conglomerate multi-billion-dollar corporation power to maybe do something about this.
Yeah.
No.
While this is within the normal timeframes that we would be seeing this trailer with it dropping at the end of March, it is also a little conspicuously timed to possibly divert some of the attention and bad PR off of the mouse.
Yeah, or poorly timed because it's making people like us think that that's why they released it today. So. And instead of distracting from bad press, at least in my mind, it's reminding me of it. Yeah. So just wanted to call that out and say here at the Multiverse Report, we fully support the LGBTQ community in any way, shape, or form that we possibly can. And we think that bill is an abomination, and we think that Bob Chapek, president of Disney, should be more against it than he is. I'm pretty sure Bob Iger would have said something about it. That's all I'm saying.
It's all about the Bobs.
It's all about one Bob.
But I'd say we can let's pivot this one to all about the Bens, because this is not all about the Benjamins, but all about old Ben Kenobi. Or maybe we'll find out how he ends up becoming old Ben.
I'm hoping that we do. And just real quick, sorry, if you tuned in thinking it was going to be lightsabers from wall to wall and you got some woke messaging and you hate us, then fine. I don't care. Don't listen to the show ever. Ever. So okay, yes. Is it weird that there's no gray in his hair or beard at all? You mentioned Old Ben, and that was the
Right.
first thing that I thought of because I was like, so it's 10 years after Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
So he's been on Tatooine for 10 years.
So he's probably
there's 9 more
something?
years.
Yep.
So there's 9 more years until A New Hope. And
Right.
in A New Hope, he's fully gray. And Alec Guinness, I looked it up before we recorded. Alec Guinness was 63 when he filmed that role.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how old Obi-Wan was supposed to be in A New Hope, but the
Right.
actor was 63. And Obi-Wan's clearly supposed to be an older guy in A New Hope. I don't know that Ewan McGregor is going to look like he's 63 by the time in 9 years. Right. In 9 years' time.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was the first thing that I was like, he looks older because time passes.
Mm-hmm.
We
and he's actually 50 now.
2005, and he's actually 50. Yeah.
Although he's not Paul Rudd. He's not Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
But he's not aging that quickly.
Yeah, he looks good. He's gonna look better when he's 63 than Alec Guinness looked when he was 63. No offense to Alec Guinness. No offense to any Guinness heads out there. But yeah, so I guess in 9 years in real time, he will be pretty close. He'll be 59, so he'll be close to the age that Alec Guinness was when he filmed A New Hope. All right, so still seems like you could put like some gray sideburns on the side or anything, Sorry, that was like a big derailment. We should probably start with general thoughts. What do you? we both love this trailer. I got chills watching it.
Oh yeah.
I noticed there was a lot of Obi-Wan in the beginning, and then it kind of like showed a lot of other things.
A lot of the
when all the other
which
which I
expected to see Moses. What's her last name? Can't remember. The main Inquisitor they were showing repeatedly. I expected to see a lot of her character. I did not expect to see the fifth brother and like all the rest of the Inquisitors, including the Grand Inquisitor, and he's got something going on, but we can talk about that later. They went deep and off the rails. Like if you hadn't watched Rebels or seen Rebels, played Jedi Fallen Order, any of that, I can't imagine how lost you are with all these other red lightsaber wielding people that are not Darth Vader.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily lost, but just like, wow, who are these interesting looking characters?
Confused, should I say, or intrigued?
And intrigued. Yeah, it should be. It's still surprising because we're still relatively new in this whole current Star Wars era of, yes, we are making it clear that Rebels and Clone Wars is very canon to the series, and we are bringing in these characters to live action. That really just started with Mandalorian, which was 2 years ago, and even Mandalorian season 2 did it more. Book of Boba Fett did it a lot more. When we start seeing Ahsoka in Mandalorian season 2 and stuff like that, that was really like, oh, this is really happening. But it's still so new that we're just like, whoa, the Grand Inquisitor! I can't believe they're bringing this in.
Right.
We should be like, oh, of course they're doing that. It's kind of like what I say about the Marvel movies now. They used to be like, I can't believe they're doing this, and now it's like, yeah, of course they're doing that. They can do anything. Why wouldn't they? It's kind of the same thing with this Star Wars shows. Like, yeah, why wouldn't they bring in that character? Why wouldn't they link to this? Because it makes perfect sense, and it would be the same time frame. They're hunting Jedi, and he's got to be number 1 or 2 on their list of Jedis to hunt and find. So of course they'd be coming looking for him. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and I can say, so the first time I watched this, I was driving for work. Don't worry, wasn't watching it while I was driving.
I was gonna say, Steve, come on, safety on the road there,
bud. I was on the road for work. I literally pulled over to watch it because I saw the text from our guest last week, Matt Paceda, come in. So I pulled over and watched it. I'm literally watching it it was my work phone. It wasn't even my personal phone. Yeah. So it's like, it wasn't an iPhone 12. It's an old iPhone 8 that the screen's even smaller. So
not the best way to watch an epic trailer.
Right, and I'm sitting there staring at it, and the first shot of the Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor, I'm sitting there, I'm like, is that a really poorly done Vader with his mask off? It really threw me for a loop. I'm sitting there, I'm like, what in the hell is that? Oh, okay. I got home and
Yeah.
like pulled it up on the big screen. I'm like, this makes. I was excited before, but this makes much more sense now.
Yeah,
So,
when I first watched it, the voice of the Grand Inquisitor, I thought it
yep,
was the Emperor.
I did as well.
Um,
Yep.
and then they showed him. I was like, oh, okay, it's the Grand Inquisitor, and that's super cool. But then my mind kind of blew a little bit further because I was like, whoa, the Emperor could legit be in this show, which
Yeah.
I don't think I really thought about. I guess I would be surprised if he was, because especially now that we know we're getting the Inquisitors and
Hmm.
also Darth Vader, that like Emperor also would be a lot. And not that they couldn't do it, but it's a mini series, so it seems like they wouldn't want to open too many doors that they couldn't close
Right.
unless they already know they're doing a second season of this, which is a question that I have, which will not be answered until we get the entirety of this series. Is how long is it going to go? How much time does it cover?
Yeah.
Um, it could easily just be like a week, like a 1 week adventure, Um, and is it going to set stuff up for the future?
Yeah.
But anyway, where
Back
I'm
on
kind
back on
of
the rails.
yeah, I'm rambling. I'm
Yep.
rambling on topic, at least this time.
Oh,
Rambling
that's
about the trailer we're here to talk about.
yeah. Normally, when we
So,
ramble, it goes in various directions. At least we're
oh
staying
yeah,
stay on target.
yeah, exactly. Um, I don't know what else stuck out to you about this trailer.
So I mean, right from the beginning, you hear the Force theme, Obi-Wan's theme, like starting it off, and then as soon as that Lucasfilm, like I was intrigued, and then Lucasfilm hits, and the
Yeah, Duel of the
chorus from
Fate.
Duel of the Fates, and you're just sitting there like I did not know that song could like evoke the in a different context, could
Yeah,
evoke this like a more visceral response than it did like 20 years ago when I heard it the first time.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they Williams is just John Williams is the maestro for a reason, and
Of
he came
course.
back to score this series. I don't know whether he's
Yeah,
doing the whole thing. I don't think that's been
he's
revealed or
doing
not,
part of
but
it.
he's at
I don't
least
know that
doing
he's
part
doing
of it.
all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So between that and then the segue of the soundtrack into Battle of the Heroes, it was all like seamlessly done of everything that involved Obi-Wan and Anakin over the years, and
right.
it kind of gave that beginning to end feel to it, and like it was just about perfectly fitting for what they needed to do there.
Yeah. Speaking of the end, did you hear the Darth Vader breath
Didn't
as
didn't
the
on the
title came up?
phone when when I when I pulled it up on my TV and was watching it, I was like, oh,
Yeah, I noticed
oh,
it. Yeah,
okay,
and yeah, I was even watching it on just like bad computer speakers, and I noticed it immediately.
yep,
Because the inhale is a little more noticeable than the exhale. The exhale is very subtle,
hmm,
so it seems like you could just have missed the inhale.
right,
Um, but yeah, very excited about that. I was kind of hoping we'd get him, but it is just a teaser. I'm sure we'll get like a full trailer, in a couple weeks or something like that.
now,
I'd be shocked if I would love it if we didn't see Vader at all. Now that I'm thinking about it, until the show, and it was just like a wow
yeah,
moment reveal in the show. But I'm sure they're going to give us at least a glimpse of him.
yeah, and that's I'm curious how, because we know Hayden will be Vader or
Yeah, that's the
Anakin.
big question. This is the big
Like,
question that you're gearing towards. I know.
right? Is it flashbacks? Is it live action? Is it just him in the suit? And
Could be
also,
both.
my biggest thing is who voices him.
Yep. That's when I said the biggest question.
Yeah,
That's my big question. Like, what is he gonna do if he's not if it's not flashbacks? And again, there could be both. He could be
yeah,
in the suit, and it could be flashbacks. But if there's not flashbacks, and he's just wearing a Darth Vader outfit the whole time, why bring him? Why bring him back if you're not going to show his face? So
right.
I think at the very least, he's going to be in that suit with the helmet off, so we can see his scarred, made up face. But again, who is voicing him? James Earl Jones, 90,
Think
88,
think so.
late
Somewhere
80s.
somewhere in there. In that
And
vicinity.
in that vicinity. And I mean, no disrespect to the man whose voice, uh, haunts and inspires my childhood. If you look at, Darth Vader, Mufasa,
Yep.
both ends of that
Yep.
spectrum there.
You've even got the God, what's his name in the Sandlot? He's everywhere.
Oh, I don't remember that man's name. His dog's name was Hercules.
Yes.
But but yeah, he's everywhere. But in Rogue One, he came back to voice Vader, and you could kind of hear. That's right, and in Rebels, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But specifically in Rogue One, I felt that you could hear his age a little bit.
Yes.
And not that that's the worst thing ever, but it wouldn't necessarily fit into the continuity of Star Wars. So I wonder if they're using him partially. Because I feel like if you're gonna bring back Darth Vader, we have to hear the Darth Vader voice. I feel like if he had his helmet half off, as in at the end of Return of the Jedi, he would not sound like James Earl Jones.
Right.
But if you're bringing back Darth Vader, we're gonna want to hear the Darth Vader voice. So,
absolutely.
What's that going to be when it happens? And it's also weird. Then
the tech, though, think about the tech now compared to, would they be able to modulate Hayden Christensen to amalgamate whatever, like to make his line reading actually sound close to James Earl Jones? Because all the iterations of James Earl Jones we've had have sound slightly different.
That's true. And also, I mean, hey, if they can feed just like every word Mark Hamill's ever said into a computer and then make a CGI version of him sound exactly like him, then I'm sure that they can do that also.
Yeah. So I went down the rabbit hole of like, well, in my brain I was like, oh, maybe Matt Lanter's doing it. And then I'm like, no, Matt Lanter did Anakin and Hayden's back, so we don't really need another Anakin voice.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they could find people to do it or to enhance it in some way.
Yeah, there's got to be. I'm sure it'll be well done. It's just one of those questions out there of like, how they doing it?
Yeah, but isn't it also going to be weird that we have now the version of Darth Vader with the mask on that sounds like James Earl Jones, the version at the end of Return of the Jedi with the mask off who speaks with an English accent, and we're going to have a third version played by Hayden Christensen with the mask off, most likely, that speaks with an American accent. Isn't that just strange?
It will be.
It will be strange. But you know what? Star Wars, not always the best at keeping their own continuity in line. Until recently. Recently, they've been good about it.
Yeah, the Disneyfication has definitely the new canon for all former EU people seem to be up in arms about it. They've done a darn good job of Pablo Hidalgo keeping everything straight, so it's worked out pretty well. I do want to know one thing. If I remember right, you did not read the Kenobi novel by John Jackson Miller.
Correct.
Actually, a very good read about basically Kenobi's time. A weird snapshot of Kenobi's time that has nothing to do with Luke, that has nothing to do with anything, just him on Tatooine as a normal person, effectively. But he had a pet Eopie, and he's riding an Eopie in the trailer, and he has a pet Eopie, and I'm like, this is just a nice little callback to that. So
yeah, they're really doing their homework. Speaking of that scene, I loved what I called that we were going to get on a previous episode of this show. Obi-Wan in the distance looking at a child version of Luke Skywalker, sitting on top of the little igloo building there, pretending to fly a speeder or pod racer or starship or whatever. Like that got me emotional.
Oh, that was another chills moment.
Yeah.
And the first time I saw it, I'm like, is that is okay?
Yeah, that's him. I watched the trailer. I watched it again with my 5-year-old.
Yep.
And he saw the boy and goes, Luke. Like he just immediately know this kid he's seen 2 movies. He hasn't ever seen Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, doesn't know why he would be a young man at all, like doesn't understand that there's prequels. He just knew, like he was on Tatooine, he's watching over Luke. Just, it was amazing. I was like, yes, you're right, buddy.
And it's weird because I got the opposite. I showed my son, and the because he has that Star Wars encyclopedia that he's been reading repeatedly, like literally every night we read 8 different characters in it. Like that's our bedtime ritual.
That's amazing.
And for me and my wife, like he makes my wife do it too. So it's like she now knows more about Star Wars than most people. But he was sitting there and he recognized Obi-Wan because the picture on Obi-Wan's page is of Ewan McGregor. Has no idea about Luke because Luke's picture, like he's seen cartoon drawings in like the kids' books of Star Wars stuff of Luke. But the Luke that's in there is Mark Hamill at 60.
Sure.
So it's
Yeah.
episode
Oh, okay.
it's episode 8, like him on
Oh,
Crate,
wow.
like the him on Crate battling Kylo.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that's what he knows Luke as. Because he's
Interesting
never
choice.
seen the movies. So he didn't recognize Luke. I was like, "Oh, that's Luke." And he's like, "Obi-Wan." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you got it.
So we're both doing okay, just different
doing
sides
okay.
of things.
Loved seeing Uncle Owen
Yep.
back.
Being a badass for a bit there.
Yeah. Was he talking to an Inquisitor?
Yeah.
Was an Inquisitor
That
talking
was
to him?
yeah, that was the Inquisitor that was referencing that I meant to do my Moses Ingram, that's her name.
Yeah. Okay.
That she was playing was one of the Inquisitors.
Do you think it's possible? I mean, it's definitely possible. I guess from that scene, I got vibes of Uncle Owen telling them where Obi-Wan is, like selling him out. Because like the way he talks about it, like clearly he doesn't like Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And I guess like at the end of Revenge of the Sith, we just see he's just handing them the baby at the end of Revenge of the Sith. So it's not like we don't see him actively angry at Obi-Wan,
right,
until he's clearly talking
the crazy
shit
old man
about him. Yeah, crazy old man. Yeah, exactly. You stay away from him in A New Hope. So,
but
do you
that's
think
what
that
I was getting.
Sold him out?
See, I don't know if he sold him out, but I think in my headcanon, what was going on was you could see Owen getting more and more pissed at the couple of shots you got of him, and maybe because he knows they're there effectively because of Obi-Wan and because of Luke, that he becomes pissed and disillusioned at Obi-Wan because he's endangering Luke by his presence there with the Inquisitors there. So maybe it's something along those lines too. So we'll have to see what tack they end up taking on it.
Yeah.
Beru didn't sell him out.
No, not at all.
Sweet old lady.
Sweet old woman, Aunt Beru. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to get more Uncle Owen. That's like a character, and Aunt Beru. Like that's a character. Those are both characters I never thought I would get more of or care about getting more of ever. And we did get more of them in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, or they were in Attack of the Clones first, right?
Yep. Yeah.
They meet Anakin. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's when he goes to meet his stepdad and then murders a bunch of Tusken Raiders. So that's why he's on Tatooine, to get his mom in Attack of the Clones.
Yes, that was Attack of the Clones.
Yeah. But then they're at the end of Revenge of the Sith as well.
Yep.
So it's just going to be interesting to see more you don't get a whole lot of character out of those two scenes from the prequels from those two, but it's going to be interesting to get what seems like character development for Uncle Owen and possibly Aunt Beru in this show, like character development for a side character that was an asshole to my childhood hero for 2 seconds or whatever in the first movie, and I don't really care about other than that. It's be interesting to, like anytime they make a Star Wars prequel to anything, it's you want to know how it affects or changes the next time you view those other movies, Revenge of the Sith so much better because you watch Clone Wars or whatever, even A New Hope is better if you watch Rogue One, like that's the genius of Rogue One. It made one of the greatest movies of all time even better. And so is this going to do the same thing for elements of A New Hope or elements of the prequels even? Because this is like the cool thing about this show is that it seems like it's both, right? They're like blending elements of the prequels, like Ewan McGregor playing Obi-Wan with stormtroopers and Darth Vader and but also maybe Anakin Skywalker, and then also you see Imperial officers and stuff.
They had the one female officer like walking down the out of the ship. So that was a focus. So she's definitely doing something.
She's definitely something for sure. And so it's a cool like melding of the two aesthetics almost, Yeah. And so I think it's gonna be cool. Do you think? I mean, they don't tell us where like the Inquisitors are, where we see those stormtroopers or anything, but it doesn't look like Tatooine. It looks more like Coruscant. It doesn't have to be Coruscant. It could be
Daiyu, apparently.
Anywhere else.
Apparently it's a new world Daiyu per the interwebs.
Oh, okay. Daiyu. All right. Do you think Obi-Wan's going to leave Tatooine in this
so.
episode, in this season? Okay.
So
It's going to
I
be.
think he'll end up back there. I think the series will
I
begin
mean,
and end on Tatooine.
I would hope.
Well, you know,
He's got to end up back there. Oh, you mean just by the end of the series?
right by the end of
okay.
this season. Like, I think they're gonna try and wrap it in a tight bow. I don't think we're gonna get like a trailer for season 2 or something like that. I think it's gonna be a nice clean 6-episode arc, and after everybody goes crazy, they'll make another one.
I mean, yeah, that's a big question. Is there going to be room for another one? I feel like if they're smart, they would leave room for another one, because I think Ewan McGregor is very happy to be playing Obi-Wan Kenobi again, and I think he would probably do it again. And you know what? Like, they're building this whole Star Wars Disney Plus universe.
Yeah.
You know, the timelines are different, but you know, you never know. I feel like who could show up in. You know, we don't know much about the Ahsoka series. There could be I feel like there are going to be flashbacks in the Ahsoka series because Anakin's in it.
They did.
Hayden Christensen's in it.
And they made a point of him being Anakin in the Ahsoka series, I think.
Or unless he's going to be a Force ghost, which he easily could be a Force ghost. But, you know, if there are flashbacks, who's to say that Ewan McGregor is not in one of those flashbacks in the Ahsoka series or whatever else they have in mind? You know, if this Lando show that we're hearing about ever happens, we don't know what that is. There could be flashbacks in that. Could be a way that Ewan McGregor's in that. Like, I'm sure that Ewan McGregor has signed for more than just these miniseries. If there's like an option to bring him back for cameos or have him do voices or something else, and even if that turns into a season 2, then wonderful. Because I think, I mean, you definitely have time to play. If this takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, then you still have 9 years of adventures or stories or whatever's you can tell with this version of Obi-Wan before A New Hope takes over.
Right.
So will be definitely interesting to see.
My brain does say from this trailer that we will not be getting what I was, what everybody was probably hoping, but also knew we weren't getting. In the live action reenactment of the Maul fight, this seems to confirm the time frame is not of that ilk.
Yes, yeah, because he's older. Man, he looks more like Alec Guinness,
right?
When during that fight, yeah. So that's closer to the timeline of A New Hope. Yeah, I don't think so. Nah. But there was rumor, or again, our friend Matt sent this to us, that there's a shot in the trailer of somebody silhouetted up against an Inquisitor, I think it was, holding that DL-44 that you have on your shirt, and people are immediately assuming that that's Han Solo because that's Han Solo's gun. He's also wearing like a long coat. Han Solo's not really known for wearing a long coat. Not that he couldn't throw one on if he was chilly. But do we think that's Han Solo?
No. Personally, I don't. I think they're going to leave that well enough alone. Especially like going up against the Inquisitorius, because you know, I feel like if Han had any interactions, it wouldn't be a hokey religion in A New Hope. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, he certainly cannot meet Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No.
But man, I really do want a continuation of the Solo story.
Yeah.
In some form, whether it's another movie or the Lando show, or I don't know, just give him his own series. Like I said this on a couple weeks ago on the main show that I think Solo would have been much better as a Disney Plus series than a movie. And I like the movie enough, but like it would have been a great Disney Plus series, and I think it would have been better received and better watched. But,
yeah, and I think we talked about it. Even if they'd have given it like a year to breathe after Last Jedi, it would have been much more well received. But, you know, things got pigeonholed, things got shoved around, and whatever. Mm-hmm. I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, me too. Because I think
go for it.
I was gonna say that I think Solo takes place ish around the same time, maybe like a little earlier.
Yeah, pretty close, and it's got to be pretty close in that time frame.
Only a couple years off. I think they're the main storyline of Solo. I think takes place around the same time, so could work. Like timeline wise, it could be him, but I don't think it's him either. I'm sure that's a pretty popular blaster, and that's just another character that has it. It's a reference to the fact that it's everyone's favorite blaster in the Star Wars universe.
I have a shirt of it, for God's sakes.
Exactly. Yeah.
They Inquisitorius. thoughts on Grand Inquisitor and seeing the helicopter blade. Hopefully they don't fly away on it, but seeing that that style of lightsaber and actually spinning,
pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome because we haven't seen a double-sided lightsaber since
Maul,
since Phantom Menace. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's so cool because that's something that seems like when you see it in Rebels, it's kind of like, oh, this is pretty cartoony, but it's cool that they can get away with it because it's cartoony. But then you see it in live action in this trailer, I'm like, oh, that works. That's great.
Yeah, like
and what I don't think would work, like you just said, what I don't think would work is them flying away on it like a helicopter.
yeah, that's really not what. Not something that'll fly all that, no pun intended, that'll fly all that well in live action.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think there's going to be any like infighting or dissension amongst the Inquisitors? Will one of them kind of like maybe take pity on Obi-Wan or befriend Obi-Wan? Is there going to be some kind of like... I don't know. I feel like that's an option. It's an option, I think.
It might, and it's, as dumb as it sounds, the amount they're focusing on Moses Ingram's third sister, that maybe that's the heel, or well, the face turn,
right,
and that maybe she, yes, she starts out as the one hunting him and ends up becoming more sympathetic as time goes on.
Yeah, I can see that happening with her character, just because she was such a focus.
Yeah,
and she could just be straight up villain, and that would be great too. But I don't know. And then how Vader's going to play into it,
right?
Is so interesting.
And then stupid things. Do we get a Satine reference anywhere?
Great. Why wouldn't we?
Deep cuts, man.
Is Bo-Katan going to be in this show?
That would fit timeline wise. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, that's what I'm saying. There could be these crossovers that they're building up. Like, I'm Katie Sackhoff. I'm sure she signed on for more appearances than just a couple episodes of Mando season 2.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, even if it's him, like, even after all the mess on Mandalore, like, they still know Kenobi, and he probably trusts them to a degree. So
it could be she could send a hologram,
right?
Or well, that could happen. We could get Bail Organa. Jimmy Smits could be in this series.
Actually, I think we got that confirmed, didn't we?
Did we really?
Yeah, I think Jimmy Smits is confirmed.
I did not know that. That's amazing.
Well, now you do.
Amazing.
The more you know.
I do. Yeah. But like Yoda could be in it.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson could be in it. Force Ghost Qui-Gon. Give us Force Ghost Qui-Gon. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, someone had to teach Obi-Wan how to do it.
And or at least tell him that. But at least tell him that he's got to go on that like spiritual journey that we see Yoda do in Clone Wars. Yeah.
Go on your vision quest and you'll be able to figure it out. It's fine.
Yeah. Talk to these weird spirits and hallucinate for 3 days or however long it took.
Go to Tatooine, grab some shrooms, buckle up.
Yeah. 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 So, I mean, endless possibilities. I can't imagine that everything that we just said is going to happen. I'm sure fans all over would love to see everything that we just talked about happen, but
but we just went 33. We went 33 minutes at present on a 1 minute trailer, so
minute and a half teaser. Yeah. So just imagine how long we're going to talk when the real thing drops. So, I mean, the full trailer, but I guess that's all I got. I'm really excited. I like this. I'm definitely more excited for this show than I was for Book of Boba Fett, and I expect to enjoy it more than I enjoyed Book of Boba Fett, except for those 2 episodes that were Mandalorian episodes. But I doubt we're gonna get any Mandalorian episodes in this series. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be all Ewan McGregor, all Obi-Wan, all the time, and I'm down for it.
Absolutely, and that's that's always been the thing, is like getting Ewan McGregor back to play this role after he's wanted to for so long. Is just going to be amazing to see.
I've heard rumors of this for probably 10 years that he wanted to come back, or that they were thinking of bringing him back or whatever. Like,
Well, and that was
Finally.
it was all rumors with him being the one pushing it. It was never like,
Yeah.
oh, we want to make this thing, but we're not going to. It's like, oh, Ewan McGregor comes out publicly and says, I would love to make an Obi-Wan movie or an Obi-Wan
Yeah.
show.
Well, I think a movie was in the cards for a while
Yep.
until they lost control of how they were doing with the movies. Last Jedi divided the fandom, and then Solo was met with mixed reactions or mixed enthusiasm.
Right.
And then Episode 9 was not a great movie, really at all. And then they got Disney Plus, so they're like, "Hey, how about we just all these movie ideas we had? How about we make them
Right.
series instead?" Like I think Boba Fett was supposed to have a movie.
Yeah,
And
I
then
think
turned into a show.
that was the rumor, was those two were supposed to be the next two, like Rogue One, Solo, and then those two.
It's the Star Wars story
That's
label.
yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Solo, a Star Wars story. Got it.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad we're getting them in miniseries form because they're longer and more in depth and more detailed, and I get to watch them from my couch.
Absolutely. You
Yeah.
can even put your comfy chewy onesie on doing it.
I guarantee you, I will have it. I've been wearing this. I just had a birthday end of last week, and I've been wearing it every day since I got it.
Nice.
It's the best. But yeah, that's all I got for this trailer. Unless you got anything else, Steve.
Random fact. I have worn a larger version of that at your house.
Oh my gosh, that's right. You have at a Halloween party. You
Yep.
came as Chewbacca.
I came as Chewie, and it was when my son was born the month before, we had him wrapped up as Wicket.
That's right.
Yep.
Adorable.
So,
Adorable. Well,
fun
maybe
times.
someday we can host a special Chewbacca episode, both wearing our Chewbacca onesies.
That'll be the next Christmas episode. Tangled up
Yeah.
in the lights, or we could just wear that shirt too. Seeing we
Yeah,
apparently
true.
both have that shirt,
Both.
so
We could do both on the tangled light shirt underneath the
Yeah.
Chewbacca hoodie.
there we go.
Or we can do a reaction to our recent watch of the Star Wars Holiday Special, which is very Wookiee focused.
I just hit another soundbite because I had a Chewie roar.
Okay, great. I'm sure.
I'm having way too much fun with this thing, so
That's fine. I'm glad you're having fun.
yeah.
But I'm good to wrap up unless you got anything else.
No, if you're listening and absolutely love or hate the soundboard, feel free to let us know on social media or at themultiverseport@gmail.com. The Multiverse Report wherever you can find us. Multiverse RPT on Twitter. Like, review, subscribe, do the whole 9 yards. You guys have heard it on every podcast. It really does help us out. Helps people find us. The more people listen, the more things we can do for you guys. And feel free to check us out and feedback.
Yeah, and if for some reason you're just listening to this episode and haven't listened to anything else we've ever talked about or done, we usually record weekly recaps of all your nerdy news Sunday nights around 9:30-ish. Sometimes we got to move it, but usually Sunday nights 9:30. We've been doing it for almost a year, so there's plenty of back episodes to go listen to if you're just stumbling upon this review and enjoy what you're hearing. So please listen.
Yeah.
And until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see you around the multiverse.